The following video was recorded live on Twitch, and it's an honest and constructive review of a showreel from one of my subscribers. You might think that this review is only useful to the artist in question, but I really believe that watching other people's reviews is a great way to improve your skill set and develop your eye for detail. Not to mention, it gives you an idea of what to expect from a visual effects supervisor like myself, and it serves as a guide on how to make a successful showreel. Remember, you can always submit your work for review on my Discord page, and then watch it live on Twitch. Hope you enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment below. First of all, Jonas, thank you so much for sharing the showreel, and thank you so much for allowing me to show the showreel on YouTube, and also thanks for sharing it in front of 100 people. I know that's tough. And the first thing I would say about your showreel is that I really would prefer to have the shots next to the breakdowns. I just feel like I understand why you did this, but I feel like it would be nicer if we could see the shot and see the breakdown right away. I just feel like it flows better as a showreel. I don't like the fact that I watch all the shots and then I have to watch the shots again and then I have to watch the breakdowns. I feel like your showreel becomes a bit too long because of that. You know, it's over 2 minutes. And I feel like it would make a better rhythm, you know. Does it have music? Yeah, it does. Okay. I was just like checking what it was. So let's start with because you see now, even for me to review, now I have to like watch them all again. So first shot is the text. That's the first thing you have. So let's first look at that. So first feedback I have on the text, that would be since you've made it a shot, now I have to feedback on it. First thing I would say is that you need more sampling, because you have a lot of noise on your smoke. You have a lot of noise on your atmospherics. They need to have higher quality. Now here's a trick. You can either put more sampling on CG and make it really, really high quality, or you could denoise certain AOVs. You could separate the AOVs on compositing in Nuke and then maybe denoise the specularity or denoise whatever AOV or pass that has a lot of noise. The neat video denoising is really, for me, the industry standard, and it will really give you like a much cleaner thing. The other thing I would say is the fire that comes through. I feel that this fire needs a lot of work, because if you look at it, the shape of the fire just looks a bit bizarre. First of all, there's really no interaction between the letters and the fire. I feel like it's too soft, the interaction. I'm not saying that the letters should be burned, and I can see that the light interaction is there, but your fire is too blobby. It doesn't have enough wisp. It doesn't have enough detail. It's too much. It really lacks resolution. Look at here. What I would really advise you to is look to some references. I think this fire needs some work. I like some aspects of it. I like the end part, the tail, and I like the way that it affects all the lighting around it. I just feel like the core of the fire lacks resolution, and your glow looks very unrealistic. This is not how fire really looks when you have a glow in it. It looks too saturated. It's too yellow, too orangey. I just feel like you need to tone it down and actually made it more resolution. Anyway, I know that this is not really an important shot for the showreel, but you made it important because you did a breakdown for it. So that's why I'm making it so. Now let's move on to the second shot. So the second shot, which is an environment, which is this one. So this is personal project called In the Woods. You've did everything, full CG environment. So it does look nice, but it is a bit like, I would say, before I even start with the technical aspects of it, I would say from a composition point of view, it lacks a bit, because you see, I feel like it's very confusing. It looks like it's a frame in the middle of a sequence. You know what I mean? It has really no dynamic. Like, it's really strange because I don't really understand what this is in the front here. The ship is really merged and murky into the background. And then we have these rays of light. I just feel like composition-wise, I'm pretty certain you can find a better angle for this, because it really looks like you just picked the frame from your sequence and that was it. So as you can see, you see this, you've made the entire forest and you made all these things, and again, I wish the shots were together with the breakdown. And it's a shame because that composition doesn't really show me the actual nice shot you have. You know, I just feel like you're missing something here by using this angle, because you're really not showcasing that environment that you've made. I almost feel like you should have the camera angle, like maybe the camera should be on the other side of the shot. I almost feel like you should have, you know, always like balance the ship here on this side. So that means you would rotate the camera, and so the camera would be viewing it from here, you know, from this area here instead. And I feel like the ship would be on this side, and then you can see in like more into the left side, the clearing of the light coming in. I just feel like it's really tricky for me to see the composition this way, because I have the lighting coming here, the ship is in the middle, which is a bit strange, and then I don't know what this is. Like, I just feel like you're missing a thing here. Now, in terms of the shot itself, I feel like you definitely have some work to do in terms of texturing as well, and look development as well. Like, I feel like this tree looks a bit rough. Like, it doesn't look realistic at all. Like, this texture, I saw it immediately when I was looking at it. I just feel like it needs a bit more detail. It need to look at branches and make it. It kind of looks a bit weird in terms of texturing. I also think that, Turn Verna 1229, he does have a point. It does look a bit flat as well. I feel like your color correction is a bit flat, because it's a shame. Like, look at this. Look at how cool this looks. This looks really beautiful, like the light coming through. Even this, if I crop, look, that's a better shot. If you would have shown me this, it would have been a better shot to show me just this clearing with some nice depth of field and everything. Anyway, I'm going to move on to the next shot. This one here, personal project, the Terraformer. You did full environment and full CG environment. This is a highly stylized shot. I mean, I don't know if that was the idea. If the idea was supposed to be photorealism, it does look a bit strange. It's very unnatural to have like pink in a shot like this, and it makes it look a bit strange that it's so pinkish, like if it's Mars, I don't know if it's Mars or something, it probably would be more to the Earth levels, like it would be like more reddish than pinkish, and I kind of feel like you're missing a point there. Let's look at the breakdown as well so we can kind of see what you have there. So you have an environment there. Again, I think the red is a bit too harsh. I think you just have too much saturation on that red. I think that's why it's almost like RGB red, and I feel like you need to tone that down a bit. And then when you put in the light, oh, by the way, the light, you can clearly see on the breakdown that you don't have enough steps on the light. You see that? It has a lot of bending. You might want to put more steps on the quality of the light. You might want to do that. And you see, once you put the light in the atmospherics, you kind of just put the shot a bit mushy. You see that? Like, obviously these are CG, but you see how this looks cool? This kind of red, earthy feeling, like this kind of dusty feeling. I think that would look so much better in your shot, And I think in all, like, unfortunately, I don't want you to get this the wrong way, okay? It looks a bit to me like it's too much of an After Effects comp. That's how it looks to me. Like, I feel like it's kind of like too much glow. This glow looks a bit too unrealistic. There's no way this dust atmospherics would pick up so much pink. I just feel like you exaggerated it a little bit. I like certain aspects of it. I like that you have the displacement and this kind of like chromatic aberration hot feeling with the God rays. I like that a lot, but I just don't like the overall look, and also the composition could also probably do with some work as well. I kind of feel like it's a bit strange to have him completely centered on the image and also centered on the CG environment as well. And so maybe think about that. Maybe remove some of the red. Maybe remove a little bit of the dust and make it a bit more hurty so that we have this feeling that it's like a nighttime shot. I guess the best reference I would give you to this is like on 2001 when they are actually on the moon. Yeah, let's look at this effort. You see here how cool this looks. Like, first of all, you have the person in the middle, and then you have light sources from the sides, and that really helps. Why does it help? Because you get like these really nice pings of REM lights. You get like a rim light on the left side, a rim light on the right side. You get the flares coming into the image, and then the glare kind of grows through the environment. You kind of have this feeling of light source diffusion, which is great, and especially the rim lights, they look great on the characters. On your shot, I almost feel like it's a shame that you put it on the back, because now this light source is coming from where? Like I now have a light on the side, but it's not really there. It's almost like it would be nicer if it would be on the sides, the lights, so that you would hit the astronaut from the sides with a nice rim light, and then the atmospherics would just be less, just like you see here. It would be a bit less atmospherics. Obviously, it would be reddish. It wouldn't be this color. But that's what I would say. For this shot to look amazing, I feel like it would be better if you would compose it in a different way. It is like don't get me wrong. This shot is terrific, and I think you did a great job. And I really think you did a great job, and I think this shot is very close to being really good. Just need to make it like that extra little mile, you know, so that it's like perfect. That's the idea, you know. The atmospherics need to be a bit darker, and it shouldn't be this bright on the top there. Shouldn't be this bright on this side. Tone it down a bit, so that it's the source of light lighting everything, not the environment that is pinkish, you know. So I definitely think you don't need to re-render, but you really need to like work on this background. And I think it's really close. It's really close, definitely, you know. So good work with that. Let's go move on to the next shot. So this shot here, personal project, unnamed, all visual effects, all elements, full CG environment. So this environment looks really cool, man. I think you did a great job here. Let's have a look at the, so at the beginning you just have, oh, you have some shots here that you didn't do a breakdown. Oh, I see, okay. We'll go back to them. Let's see here. This shot here. So you see, I like your motion blur. I think that looks nice. And then, if anything, I like your environment. But here's a couple of things that I would probably do myself if I was doing this shot. First of all, I think your smoke doesn't have enough definition. It looks too much like blurred, like blobby smoke, and it looks it needs wispiness. You need to see the sand. You know, if I put here sandstorm, you know, you usually see the elements of the sand everywhere. Oh man, I'm just doing this live on stream, so I might not find something right away. Oh, there you go. This is actually a good reference. From Getty. Why not? We love Getty. So you see here, this is actually a really great way to see it. You see how the smoke is wisp, you know, it has like little small particles, and it kind of flows into the scene, and you have these kind of feeling of wind going and rushing through the sand, you know. That's the thing you want to try to get. See if there's other images similar. You see there? That's another good reference of that. Always look at photos, man. You see that? Like, you see how you get different layers of fogginess. And so that the one on the back there is wider, and then this one is less wide, and then you get like little wisps of smoke and debris flying through the air. And on your shot, I just feel like it's all a blobby glow, like a blobby blur. Your smoke doesn't really break up into the scene. You should have like little wisps of smoke coming, like wisps of dust coming in here, wisps of dust coming in there. Also, not only I think it's too thick in terms of saturation, but it's too blurred. Doesn't have enough little small particles of dust. You know, I think that's what I would do. The other thing I would do as well is I would pump it up a bit in terms of grade. Like I feel like your sky should be a little bit stronger. I feel it would be nice to have a little bit more light coming in so that it would diffuse into the scene. Also, I mean, to be honest, since you're doing environments, why not put some structure somewhere? I feel like it would be great to see like maybe some buildings in the back, maybe a vehicle somewhere, or maybe like in the distance you might see some kind of, you know, some kind of environment. It would be nice to see some more stuff in it. Because the feeling I have when I watch this is that it's very empty, you know, it's a bit empty, and it's there's nothing there, you know, like it's just like a landscape, and it could look so much better. So again, you know, Jonas, you are really good, you are very talented, but I just feel like you're missing little bits and pieces to make it really better, you know, like to make it really awesome, to make it really cool. Let's talk about this shot. You didn't render this shot. It just ship in camera animation, turbulence, effect simulation. There's nothing here except the turbulence. I think the turbulence looks nice, but until I see it rendered, I mean, it's really not gonna help me much. I think you did a good job. Perhaps maybe a bit too much smoke covering the camera, but I feel like it's a shame it's not rendered. I wish I could see this shot. So maybe you know, tell you what, bring like make this shot, render it, try to render it, even if it's just a still, and bring it back into the stream so we can watch it again. I would love to do that, you know, because I definitely think you are on here to something. One thing I would tell you, though, when you do this wisp of smoke coming out of the camera, I would really recommend you to break up some pieces. So because this ship is so strong, there's so much wind under it, I would definitely see debris going through. So you would see little rocks, little small rocks. I'll give you the best reference ever made for this. This is the reference, man. For me, this is the best landing ever done. It's already a bit old, though. But just look at this. So if you want a reference, watch this. You know, this is for me the best landing I've ever seen of a ship. Okay, so this is like beautiful. And Andreas, one of my friends, he comped this, and like he's one of the best compositors I've ever met in my life. And this thing is just like, just look at it. I'm gonna just leave it running a little bit because this thing is just, that's what you want to do. And you see how you see debris flying through. You saw that. You saw that you see that little speck of black there, a speck of black there. You not only get the smoke, but you get three things. You get the little particles of black flying through everywhere. You get, of course, the smoke of the landing, but then you also get the smoke that lifts in the air. So I think that's the cool thing of you doing that. Like, so I would recommend you to not only have the smoke coming, like the debris, but also have little pieces of debris flying through, maybe even some rocks on the floor that would fly through as well, and maybe even little small pieces of these elements on the floor flying through as well. Now, this fire here, I feel like you probably have to work a bit on it. It looks very unrealistic in the middle of it. I feel like fire usually doesn't really look like this. You don't usually have these big lumps of yellow glowy going in. It all looks kind of very similar. I feel like this is as hot as the middle. It shouldn't really do that. It should kind of like dissipate and not be as hot as the middle. So I think you have to work a bit on this. Because this fire, and again, reference, my friend. You just need to use reference. That's what you need to do. And also, the other thing I would say is that this shot is really bringing down your showreel. Because all your shots have a really nice environment. And then your showreel just has that. And I just feel like it's missing, you know, it's missing an environment. I would prefer to have this on a shot, you know, than just have a piece of smoke. Because it kind of looks like a tutorial. I feel like it just looks like you've done the tutorial. Now, this one here, again, you said materials and lighting, look dev. So did you do materials and lighting for the whole thing, including the floor? Is that what you're saying? It lacks a bit of detail, especially on the second shot. Like, well, actually the first shot as well. If I look at here, so you see, that looks very strange to me. Usually, like, this is not how it really works. When you have dust or when you have something sitting on the ground, you usually get little pieces of debris around things. And I also think this texture looks really not realistic at all. It looks very much like the whole thing is just one single low resolution texture. I feel it lacks detail as well. Like, I feel like it would be nice if it had like some little round corners and some specularity to it as well. Maybe a little bit of reflections. I just feel like it's lacking detail overall. Even here on this door, the whole thing looks very samey. You know, all the doors look the same. I like your ground. The ground looks nice. I like this with the disparity between grounds. This looks really nice. I think that's cool, you know. But yeah, the bevels would really help, you know. You know, but yeah, I think your floor is the best part for sure. Like, I really love your floor. I think the floor is really, although kind of like it would be nice if you could break it up a little bit on this side, but I think your environments look a bit too much the same. It's almost like these ones look better than the ones on the front, and you kind of want to keep the ones that look better. And also the wrinkliness here looks, to me, if this is supposed to be like cloth or wrinkles, they look a bit low resolution to me. They look too much like plaster. They look like they are just like plaster on the wall, you know, when you dry plaster, especially when you have plaster for your broken arm or something. It just looks a bit too unrealistic for me. And I think that happens again on this shot here as well. So as much as I like your reflections and your lighting and everything, I think this doesn't look like plastic at the moment. I just feel like it's a bit lacking detail, and the connection with the floor needs a bit of work as well, because this looks like a heavy thing. But it's great work, man. I just feel like you just need to push it a bit further, you know. And the same goes for this one. This one here, I feel like it's a shame that you don't have light hitting these panels. It's just weird that they are black. Like, this is a blue environment with the sky. Why would they be black? I feel like they should be reflecting there. You know, yeah, Mikhail has a point. Contact shadows also are missing. Like, you have nice soft shadows, but not really a good contact shadow. But I would take the opportunity to reflect some sky into these panels. I think it needs that. And also this, whatever is happening here looks really weird. Like, you just have really a lot of noise here and a lot of like, it just looks weird. It almost looks like you have depth of field on the object, but not on the reflection. So it looks like you've depth of field certain parts and not others. And I think that's just strange. So for me, this shot has a lot of problems, and I think you should remove it from the showreel because it's really bringing down your showreel. Not only the reflections look like they're not blurred as they are with the rest of the shot, I think your panels look very low detail. They look like the surface looks like almost like, I don't know, like some kind of gooey petroleum surface, which is a bit strange. I would much prefer like an actual solar panel and reflecting the sky. And then also like in your rocks, this looks nice, but I don't know, the whole thing just looks weird. And then this thing here, this just looks really strange in terms of wood and surface. It just looks really stands out of it. I think it's the fact that not only the composition also looks a bit weird, the composition is strange because you have like a diagonal line and another diagonal line and another diagonal line and then this clearing on the center. And I can actually, I just noticed that now, I can actually see the repetition on your textures. You see, that's not good. I can actually see it going on here. And you need to fix that because we can kind of see that you've cloned your texturing. You need to break that up. But yeah, I feel like this needs to be fixed with some sky, with some nice reflections. This needs to be fixed. I think it also, you lack detail on these metal rods. Like I think you need to put some bevels, some reflections, some speculars. This looks very strange. It looks like a piece of wood. Like no one would ever have a piece of wood in the middle on another planet. You know, if they're doing another planet, if they're gonna travel to Mars, for example, to do this, they would never bring wood with them. You know, because wood breaks up, it's organic, it kind of can burn, it can deteriorate over time. So they would never actually put wood on the spaceship or even anywhere else. So I think this shot has a lot of work. You have a lot of work to be done here. So let's move on to the next one. So yeah, this one here is much better. Although I still feel like you still have the same issues. You see these reflection speculars are very noisy. They also don't respect the same depth of field of everything else. It's almost like the specs or actually they're being applied after the depth of field. I don't know why. Like it's just strange. And I would really work on detail. You know, see, this rubber doesn't look like it has any texture. It needs more texturing. This looks like it's untextured as well. There's a lot of parts of your CG that don't look like they're textured. And again, here's the panels, the black panels again. They just look strange. So again, all these shots kind of need a lot of work, I think. I really think it needs a lot of work. A lot of people on the chat are giving you excellent advice here, you know. Like Mikael is saying edge wearing, that's really good. Mikael is also saying bevel, you know, he's also definitely saying that. Cito is also saying Kibash models are good, but they need extra detail for sure. We also have, like, you know that Andrew does Kibash models all the time. Maybe look at Andrew's stream. Andrew is always streaming that. Contact Shadow Michaela has a point as well. Noise on the panels, either too scaled or scaled down, for sure. Well, I wish you didn't show me this. Because this is now making me look like worse. And now I'm worried about this shot. Because you have a lot of problems. You have a lot of work on your in front of you, okay? So you need to really break up stuff, man. Look at this. Like there's no way this building is all the same. Like this building is derelict, right? This is a broken building, right? If it's a broken building, how is it possible for all these windows to be perfect and all these things to be completely survived everything? And even here, like, look at this. This is such a beautiful breakup. Like, it's almost like it's been cut by a little scissor. You need to break it up more. You need to, like, destroy little pieces and have, like, little parts of it. Even here, you see, this is all very much, it almost looks like you've beveled. You know what it looks like? It looks like you are still under construction. It doesn't look like you've destroyed it. I think that's the problem. Because it still looks like they haven't finished the building instead of looking like it was destroyed. So, and especially this one, look at this one. This is still perfect. Like this is the most powerful building in the world. So yeah, make sure that they are not new, that they are old. You know, they need to be old. They need to be broken up. So put little details of breakup. Put a hole here. Put another hole there. Break up this building. Like, just make detail on it. Even this bridge. Look at this bridge. It's all repeated. It's just the same texture all the time. Same texture. You need to bring in detail into it. You need to break it up. You need to put some dirt. You need to, like, even cement. When you look at a cement, when you look at a cement bridge, like, so you see here how concrete has, like, you see that? You get like these little hints of, I don't know what that is. It's like the connection between the concrete. And then you kind of get like this kind of stuff. Like, look at that, look at that. This something happened here. Maybe some water spilled or something happened to this. And then even on the concrete here, look at all these little panels, because you see when they layer the concrete, they layer it section by section by section. So you kind of need to break it up in that way. And that's not just the concrete, but even here you see that you have different scratches and you have different dirt and you have different parts. They all look different. That's how concrete looks, you see? You see here? We have this scratch and that scratch and this scratch and that scratch, and then a break up down here, and then this little piece is missing, and then that's little pieces. Like, it all looks different. It's very organic, the whole thing. And then let's talk about the ship. The ship needs a lot of work, okay? So obviously you have the best person in the world here on the chat right now about the ship, okay? So Andrew Oxton, that does Twitch streams as well. We've already posted his stream all the time here. If you look at Andrew's work, he is the master on doing spaceships, okay? So you should look at his streams. You should watch his streams, because he's going to really help you with this. Now, and like, if you look at this, for me personally, this is all a bit like, I like the design of your ship, okay? I do. Honestly, I do. I like the design of it, the actual shape of it. I do like it. But I feel your material is really lacking. Like, first of all, you have the same material everywhere, you know? It's a shame that this texture is the same as that texture is the same as that texture is the same as that texture is the same. They all look the same, you know? Like, I just feel like it's a shame, because it really feels to me like there's no cockpit, there's no glass, there's no different materials. I like your wear and tear, though. This is really nice. I love the wear and tear. But you see then these really thick lines make it very unrealistic. It's almost like these are drawings. So for me, this almost looks like you've drawn these lines instead of actually beveled them correctly, or instead of actually make them a bit more stand out. So I think, I really think you just need to bring in more details into the paneling and make it random, you know, just random it up. No one says that one side should look the same as the other, you know, obviously not. Like, maybe it has like man, give you an example of some of my favorite ships. Like, you see there, the Normandy? Oh, it's one of my favorite ships ever. I love this game, and I can't believe that they don't have... Is there a big photo? Yeah, look at that, look at that. So you see, instead of just have paneling, why not have like a name? Why not have like a piece of paint, like black and white and maybe a red stripe? It really would break up the ship by having stripes and by having numbers, you know. Wow, this is cool. Well, anyway, I do have the best reference ever, and I should not waste my time on that reference and just go into the... You should go to Andrew's streams. Thank you so much again for hosting my stream, man. If you go here to his art station, you'll see what I mean. He's the man with ships. Look at that. You see here? It's nice to have a camouflage. It's nice to have like some reds and some blues and some whites. It's almost like it has a war paint, you know? That's the thing, war painting. That's what you want to do. Let's see here, a nice ship from even this one, like the new one that you made. Like, I love this, man. You see, this is so cool. Like, you have like the numbers. It doesn't matter what the numbers mean. It doesn't matter what the numbers mean. But you know, just like, but you see this? This is so awesome. Look at that. Like little letters. Like, it could just be bullshit. And also this kind of stuff, like the release latch for the emergency. You know, like, just try to put as much details as possible, like little texts, little numbers. Even the Starship Enterprise has numbers. You know, has the huge number of Enterprise around in the letters and everything. So yeah, that would be what I would say, man. But yeah, Andrew does a great job, so you guys all should support him. Okay, I think that's it, right? Isn't it? Is that it? I think we did all the shots. Oh, no, wait a minute. We have another shot. On the beginning, you had some shots without breakdown. So I think this shot needs some work, man. I feel like, I'm not sure if this is supposed to be drops of water, but I can actually see the repetition of the texture. I can see that this is the same as that. Like you need to kind of work on that. So problems that I've seen right away when I saw this. This edge looks really bad. Like, there's something really strange going on here. This edge also looks really bad. Then you also have the texturing. For some reason, it looks the same. See, This is the same as that. That is the same. That's the same. This is the same. This is the same. It's all mirrored. And I don't know, man. I don't feel like it should be mirrored. Nothing is mirrored in the world. Then you have other problems like this is really strange, the way that this glow is happening with this pink, and this overexposure is a bit too much. I feel like you're lacking detail. This is a nice idea, but also like think about this as well. You have an extreme depth of field, which is broken by the edge, but then the rain is sharp, so this is a bit strange. That edge is also very strange. And then the model itself, there's like a lot of noise going on here as well. I really feel this shot really lacks quality to be on your showreel, you know, unless you want to work a lot on it. So let's wrap up the showreel. First of all, my first comment was, I think it would be maybe better to have the shots next to the breakdown. So when you have the shot, have the breakdown. This shot, I think you should choose a different angle. I think your ship should be maybe on your right side, and then the clearing maybe on the left side. Try to get some some nice composition. I think your leaves need a bit of breakup, and try to bring back some detail on this ship, because I can hardly see what's going on here. Like I said, it looks to me too much like a frame of a sequence instead of a shot. But it's really a nice shot. You just have to get a new angle and maybe not make it look so much like a frame. This shot where he talked in depth, it's all about, for me, the banding is a problem, and I think the reds are too unrealistic. It would never really be pink, I think, unless he's on a discotheque. And I feel it would be much better. We talked about the Mars surface and everything, so you have all these references. I would remove this shot if you can't improve it. I would keep this shot. This shot looks great, but it would be nice if it can move. That would be awesome. This shot looks really great. Don't forget the smoke breakup like I showed you on the examples from Alamy. Go to Alamy, go to Getty, go and check photos. Try to break up and maybe put a structure or two, a ship or an environment somewhere. This one, I really want to see it. I would wish I could see it soon. This looks terrific. Don't forget to put more debris flying through the air. The buildings look too clean. They look too perfect. They look like they're still in the construction. And then the fire, I would skip it. I think the fire is not good enough, and it's also just a piece of fire. It doesn't really bring anything to your showreel whatsoever, unless you want to put this fire somewhere else on one shot, you know. These need a lot of work. They need detail. You know, you can clearly see the texturing is all clone. There's lack of detail on the beveling, you know. It just needs more detail on the modeling. Also, the cloth, the plastic, just looks too much like plaster. I think you need to work on that. The floor looks terrific. I love the floor. Same goes here, lack of detail. Same goes here, lack of detail. It's strange that we have wood here. Strange that we have the texturing being repeated. It's strange that we have black on the panels. It's strange that we have the speculars not being defocused by the depth of field. And it just goes on all of them. The ship, we already talked a lot. You know, try to get in some inspiration from Andrew to get the ship to look a bit nicer, because I think it's all. I think the design looks great. It's just the texturing that doesn't really look that good, I think, at the moment. And that's it, really. Like, I think you have an incredibly strong showreel. You just need to work on all these things, man. Like, you just need to get all this stuff done. So, Jonas, don't despair. Don't give up, man. You have an excellent showreel. You just have to get it to work, you know. You just have to add these things to make it even better, you know. Anyway, that's it, really. Like, I hope you've enjoyed the feedback, and I can't wait for you to send us a showreel again so that we can watch it.